Well, hey everybody, this is Don with the Vlog of Many Things, and I want to talk a little bit about Star Frontier's new Genesis. There was a post made in, I believe, the TSR Rare Collectibles page. I was tagged in it by a couple people, and I made a post in it, but I keep getting people PMing me, sending me links to it, going, have you seen this? And then also people just PMing me going, is this really the new version of Star Frontiers? So I thought I would go ahead and just for once and all clarify. I'm not jumping in the weeds on this one. I am not jumping into the middle of the swamp on this one. I am going to just keep it to the facts. Now, the book in question is this one right here. This was the post. The person asked, looking for some insight in this book. Google search doesn't produce much other than its new TSR origins. I understand there's some controversy associated with it. I also don't see any listings or sales on eBay. He believes it was print to order. Any idea how many are printed? Anyone any aware of any news or any sales, etc. Okay, this is not Star Frontiers or anything legitimately Star Frontiers. It's not a new version of the game. This was one of two parody copies of Star Frontiers New Genesis, which was a game that the latest iteration of TSR that was involved in litigation with Wizards of the Coast that involved their bankruptcy was going to publish. Okay. This right here is one of two games or two parody copies that were made. Now, these were put out, I believe, on Lulu. And I can show you real quick. The ones on the right, as you can see, they're pretty much the same book, but there's some differences. The one on the right says 10 Crab Games. No, Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Cat Tavern was not the maker of that. It was somebody else that put these up on Lulu for sale. They're hardcover, and they're not playable because just when you walk through them, they're just a jokingly big parody of it. I have both copies. Tom Verholt from Tabletop Tap Room last year at TotalCon helped me get the second copy because they're just not available, and I wanted them basically for my collection, both versions. But they're fundamentally, I believe, the same thing with just some slight changes on the interior, and as you can see from the cover, like a Tsar Nicholas's face on the one on the right. The one on the far left is the original version. That is the manuscript for Star Frontiers New Genesis from the latest iteration of TSR that I was hired to do some editing on and also to basically walk through and do. And like I said, I'm not jumping into this swamp. I'm not jumping into the weeds. Let's just say the one on the far left, excuse me, not right, far left, is the only legitimate copy of Star Frontiers New Genesis out there that I'm aware of because I was brought in to edit it. And when certain content was found, steps were taken by myself, and I'll just say that. Now, on the Star Frontiers Not Genuine Facebook page, there is all of the history regarding this, and there is a lot of history, a lot of imagery, a lot of stuff, a lot of ad nauseum. If you want to go ahead and dive down that very, very deep rabbit hole that is deeper than the book in Alice in Wonderland, trust me, it's a rabbit hole that makes Alice in Wonderland look like a 3-page novella. But just for the sake of the question, the two versions on the right, I believe they were Lulu POD. So I believe they were Lulu POD. I really honestly do not know who the author was of those. I frankly would have never wasted my time putting those together because somebody spent time on those. I have the copies. I mean, they took time to lay this out and put content in there. So, hats off to whoever did it. I mean, they took the time on it. But yeah, they're a POD, print on demand. Now, as far as the question goes of how many copies were done, I have no clue. I know there was one, and I'm talking from memory here. I may be a little bit wrong here, but I know one of those two were originally put up on Lulu, and they were taken down pretty quick by Lulu, because I believe either Wizards of the Coast or the folks who were at that time running the new version of TSR did a DMCA takedown request, I think, or for some reason they were taken down. and then the new one jumped up. And like I said, I purchased the one on Lulu when I seen it because I wanted a copy of it for my records. Because I wanted to make sure, first of all, that the original content was not in the one being published to the public, which I would find pretty hard to believe because I only know of myself and two others that had access to the original. Yeah, two other people. And like I said, I'm not going to mention their names here. History is what it is. You can go to the Star Frontiers New Genesis page and dive down that rabbit hole. But boy, tell you what, you better bring a parachute. But then the second copy, like I said, was put up, and I did not get the second. No, I think I got the second copy, and it was the first copy I missed. And like I said, thank you to Tom Bro from Tabletop Tap Room at TotalCon last year. He went ahead and made sure I got the other copy for my collection because, you know, this is something that I don't know if there's value to it, but it goes with the rest of my new TSR ensemble. Cult of Abaddon, those pesky goblins, those pesky orcs, among lots of other stuff. So, yeah, just want to go ahead and give a quick clarification, just a real quick little history on those two books. Again, I don't know what the sales counts were. I imagine there were quite a few people that gobbled them up when they were posted because it was right at the height of the whole latest iteration of TSR's issues a few years ago. So, value wise, I don't know. It's like anything collectible or anything that was limited. Um, you may have one guy say, "I'll give you $1," and have another guy say, "I'll give you $100 for it." You know, the value is in the eye of the collector. But I will tell you, just for clarification's sake, this is not a real game. They're not playable. This isn't like, Star Frontiers and Czar Frontiers, because that's the other, just to kind of show you the difference here real quick. See how the one says Star and the other one says Czar, and then Czar has Tsar Nicholas and the Russian hats, so not genuine. Um, so yeah, but those are not real games. Just to clarify for anybody who might think on the secondary market that if they do see it for sale on eBay, or if they do see it for sale in one of the gaming groups, that this is a playable game. It is not. It is just absolute nonsensical. If you're into the humor, you are. That's in it. Parody of the game. It is total parody, non-playable. So hope that clarifies it. Just wanted, like I said, just want to do a clarification on the game, just to let people know that this is not a real game, and this video maybe puts to rest because, like, literally, I've gotten like 10 PMs from people, and I don't know half the people messaging me. So, yeah. So, everybody, hope you have a good weekend of gaming. Today is Sunday. I'm going to be live tonight with Joe Block, the Greyhawk Gargnart, Eric Tencar from Tencar's Tavern, and Joe the Lawyer. At 9 p.m., I believe. We're going to be live. We're going to be talking about our weekly, or this week's topic, and probably a little bit of the week prior's topic. And that is a little bit about exploration in D&D. Has it been killed by modern D&D? Playing modern D&D versus... It's going to be a really cool video tonight. So this is Don with the Vlog of Many Things signing off. Hope you have a good night, and I guess keep gaming. And by the way, don't jump down that rabbit hole unless you have a parachute and about 2 weeks worth of iron rations and lots of torches. Talk to you later.